This comment comes from a video I just posted about Romans 10 verse 9, which says, if you believe in your heart that God raised Christ from the dead, then you'll be saved. So we must ask ourselves, what does it mean to believe in our heart? But first, let me ask you a quick question. If someone comes to you and says, oh, hey man, I've been doing all this research and the stock market's about to collapse. You got to pull everything out now or you're going to lose it all. If you believe him, if you really believe him from your heart, you're going to make a change. You're going to say, oh, I believe him. I need to do what he said to do. I need to pull all my money out so I don't lose it. But on the flip side of that, if you believe him, but not enough to actually do what he says, then do you really believe? With that in mind, let's jump into this study. In order to determine what it means to do something from the heart in Scripture, we need to pull all the verses that reference anything with the heart and see if we can make any correlations. Meaning, we need to see if Scripture defines what it means to do something with your heart. I encourage you to do this all on your own, but I'm going to cut out the middleman and show you what I found. Deuteronomy 11, and if you will indeed obey my commandments that I command you today to love the Lord your God and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. Deuteronomy 30, and return to the Lord your God, you and your children, and obey his voice in all that I command you today with all your heart and with all your soul. When you obey the voice of the Lord your God to keep his commandments and his statutes that are written in the book of the law, when you turn to the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Jeremiah 11, they did not obey or incline their ear, but everyone walked in the stubbornness of his evil heart. Therefore I brought upon them all the words of this covenant which I commanded them to do, but they did not. Ephesians 6, bondservants, obey your earthly masters with fear and trembling, with a sincere heart as you would Christ. Colossians 3, bondservants, obey those who are your earthly masters, not in lip service as people pleasers, but in purity of heart, fearing the Lord. Obedience is part of doing something from your heart. Scripture says if you don't obey, you have a wicked heart. But if you do obey, then you're doing something from the heart with your whole heart. So if you really believe in Jesus from the heart, you'll have a life shift. You'll do what he said. And Jesus said to keep the commandments of God. He said it so many times, I can't even quote them all in the time I have left. Matthew 15, Jesus says, the people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. If you don't believe Jesus enough to obey God's commandments, then you don't believe him.